In the first full day of negotiations between Americans and Canadians in the building behind me, the U.S. Trade Representative's office, there is a spirit of optimism. Why? Chrystia Freeland, the top trade negotiator for Canada, says this. She says the fact that the U.S. and Mexico have already come to agreement on autos and on labor within the context of autos, she says, is encouraging. Why? Because they have currently agreed that about 75% of each vehicle has to be made in North America in order to be tariff-free. They also agreed to pay people better, including increasing wages for Mexican workers up to an average of $16 an hour, and that will make American workers more competitive. Now, here's what U.S. President Donald Trump had to say about his level of optimism going in to day two.
I think Canada very much wants to make the deal, and I think it's going to be obviously very good for Canada if they do, and I think it's probably not going to be good at all if they don't.
Canadian officials also saying they are optimistic going into the next round of talks. Listen.
We recognize that there is a possibility of getting there by Friday, but it is only a possibility because it will hinge on whether or not there is ultimately a good deal for Canada, a good deal for Canadians.
One major area of contention, though, remains the Canadian dairy industry. You know, Ottawa has a supply management system that keeps out a lot of foreign dairy. This is something that U.S. President Donald Trump has made no secret of the fact that he would like to see progress in. And between that and the fact that the Canadians have already given concessions on dairy, allowing more foreign dairy from the Europeans and the Trans-Pacific Partnership trade countries, that is an indicator that perhaps there could be some progress on dairy. But when it comes to autos, you know, the auto industry is a North American auto industry here on this continent. It is in Mexico, it is in the U.S., and it is in Canada. So what do Canadian auto executives have to say about the prospects of this agreement for their industry? Well, one thing they say is that it's going to give China an entree to the North American market. Listen.
It also probably hastens what we expect to be major Chinese assembler investment in North America. When the Chinese come, the Chinese will come with global companies with access to capital that rivals everybody, and it'll be a big fight for market share.
So the goal here for American negotiators is to have an agreement presented to the U.S. Congress by Friday in order to get it in front of the current Mexican president before the new Mexican president takes office. The Canadians say they're not under the same kind of pressure. Jessica Stone, CGTN, at the U.S. Trade Representative's office in Washington.